Hi, my name is Sarah Foster, and today I'm going to be analyzing two infographics on child development, as well as showing one that I have made myself. Working at a daycare for 2 years allowed me to see firsthand children go through different stages of life. It fascinated me to see the effects that different people and settings have on development, which is why I chose to analyze 3 different infographics on this topic. The first infographic I chose is from the Our Lady of the Lake University website and discusses how social workers need to know the development of children to further understand if something is going on in their life. Social workers have the opportunity to look into a child's life, and it is important to notice where they are at developmentally. The infographic was created for an audience of social workers to educate them on key milestones of child development: cognitive, social and emotional, speech and language, fine motor skills, and gross motor skills. The infographic was created in March of 2021, making it reasonably up to date with the most recent evidence on child development. COVID-19 affected some children in social and emotional skills, but the hope is that children do not suffer from it long term. The author also lists their references on the infographic, revealing that they did research on this topic and are not trying to benefit from it themselves or steal other people's work, which makes them appear more credible to their audience. The style of this infographic resembles a vertical timeline displaying child development in chronological order as the child gets older. Although this is fluent for readers, the infographic is long, and the small text makes it hard to see on one piece of paper. Each section of a child's age includes a list of bullet points. I believe this is a great way to get information across to a reader through an infographic. It is quick, concise, and is the best way to absorb information. The infographic attracts an audience of creative thinkers with pictures showing what the child looks like at that age and some of the skills they should have at that time. The bullet points also use descriptive language to paint a picture in your mind. The overall color of this infographic is blue, helping symbolize how children trust and depend on others to shape their development, and the care and safety that is placed on their lives by the adults in them. The author's approach appears to be more creative, as seen by the use of color to bring out emotion, pictures to visualize the stages, and an easy-to-read design style. I believe this infographic grabs attention, keeps readers engaged, and educates social workers of the key milestones of child development to allow them to assess where a child is at in this journey. The second infographic I chose is from the Parentis website, which is an online parent community. The infographic was designed in May of 2017 based on the article written by Felicia Nazareth. This infographic highlights 4 main types of development that take place in a child, including physical, cognitive, emotional, and social development. The audience for this infographic is parents who want to explore how to help their child grow to the fullest potential. Being created in May of 2017, this infographic is as current as the first, before anybody knew how a pandemic would affect children. The author of this infographic does list their references, allowing their audience to see that they are credible and educated on the topic. The top of the infographic starts with the main idea. Childhood is about belonging, being, and becoming. The 4 types of development are listed under the main ideas as paragraphs describing what all they entail. Below each of those boxes is a filled-in text box with expert suggestions on how to help your child through each stage. There are pictures that represent a child through each of these types of development, but I do not think they contribute well to educating parents on this topic. The font style does not draw attention to readers. It looks the same as paragraphs in a newspaper. There is not much of a color scheme to this infographic. Rather than choosing 1 or 2 main colors that represent a feeling that the author wanted their audience to feel, they chose many colors to separate the different sections from each other and left the background a plain white. In my opinion, this infographic is organized with headings and text boxes, but the creator's style of sentences and paragraphs is not as effective since it makes it harder for readers to pick out what is important. However, I believe it does reveal that the creator is more of a critical thinker. This is shown by the use of description for understanding, reasoning, and research on expert suggestions. However, I think all of the expert suggestion text boxes could have been the same color. It would have made it easier for readers to focus and let the information flow smoother. I think this infographic would attract more critical thinkers that care less about the design and more what experts believe on this topic. There is not a lot of white space in this infographic. There is a lot going on, and it is hard for the audience's eyes to focus on reading a text box. This is also difficult for the audience because the infographic is long and the font is small. I believe the quality of this infographic is in its content, as it does educate parents on child development, but it could be more appealing and engaging for readers with a smaller color scheme and concise language. I designed my own infographic for an audience of childcare workers as a way to educate them on child development. It is crucial that childcare workers are aware of what the developmental stages are as they see children for several hours a day. From the first infographic, I created a timeline-like model that starts when a child may enter childcare at 1.5 to 6 months and ends with 5 to 7 years, when a child is most likely to enter school. The timeline and bullet points allow an audience to read the infographic easily. I I condensed the number of stages from the first infographic to help keep an audience engaged and not be overwhelmed. In combining age groups, however, I kept the developmental skills in my bullet points in order of the age progression. I chose a light green as the main color for my infographic. Not only is this a neutral child color rather than picking pink or blue, but green also represents growth and nurturing. It is family-oriented and encourages community. With this, I wanted to make my audience of childcare workers know that their role in their children's lives is significant to their future success. Being a part of the growth of a child and caring for them is beautiful, and it builds relationships not only with children, but with their families too. I attempted to make my infographic engaging by choosing fonts that were legible but unique. After seeing the second infographic, I tried to not clutter my own. I left some white space where I thought was necessary. I used creative thinking in this infographic to create a model that did not use many statistics and numbers. My goal was to allow my audience to illustrate each stage of child development. To assist in this, I used images displaying something a child should be able to do at each stage of my infographic. The visualization I intend would attract a more creative audience. I used information from the first two infographics while incorporating some research done by others in the field of child development to gather several different skills that children might display while in a childcare setting. To conclude, child development is significant to children's success in life, and the many adult figures in a child's life can assist in shaping this. For childcare workers, I think the infographic I created is an effective and engaging tool to assess children at the stage they are in and to communicate with the necessary resources if not. Thank you.